Hey, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever gotten way too excited about a piece of news only to realize minutes later it wasn't real? Yeah, that's exactly what happened to Cowboys Nation this week. And the culprit? None other than Cowboys defensive end Sam Williams. Picture this. You're scrolling through your feed, and suddenly you see a tweet from a current Dallas Cowboys player that reads, "Micah got paid. Let's go." Now, if you're like me, your heart probably skipped a beat. Finally, right? The long-awaited extension for Micah Parsons, done, locked in, that was the vibe. But hold up. Within minutes, things got confusing. Reporters started chiming in. No deal has been announced. No confirmation from the front office. Nothing from Micah's camp. And then, the realization hit. Sam Williams had been duped by a fake post. He later deleted the tweet and clarified he had seen something and assumed it was legit. It wasn't. Just a viral photoshopped graphic that made its way through social media and fooled even a player in the locker room. This wasn't just a random fan falling for a hoax. This was an actual Cowboys player sending thousands of fans into a frenzy with a single tweet. And let's be real here. When a teammate tweets that kind of message, it feels real. It spreads fast. And the excitement? It skyrockets. But so does the letdown when we realize it was all smoke. So let's talk about it. How did you feel when you first saw Sam Williams's tweet? Did you buy, it? Were you celebrating already? Or did you smell something fishy right away? Drop your take in the comments below because I want to know how many of us got caught up in the moment. And while you're at it, here's a quick poll for you. Do you think players should double-check info before tweeting it out? Vote A, absolutely. B, mistakes happen. C, doesn't matter, it's all hype. Now buckle up, because this tweet lit a fire, and the ripple effect across Cowboys Nation was immediate. Let's dive into that next. Alright, so after Sam Williams hit send on that tweet, Cowboys Nation didn't just react, they exploded. The replies were wild. Fans, reporters, influencers. Everyone jumped in like it was a parade. And why wouldn't they? A Micah Parsons extension is the kind of breaking news that dominates headlines for days. You had some fans going all in, celebrating like it was already official. People were posting edited graphics, congratulating Micah, and even speculating on the contract numbers. It felt like a Super Bowl moment for a solid hour. But then came the flip side. When the truth started coming out that there was no deal and that Sam Williams had been fooled, the tone shifted fast. Some fans were frustrated, others were embarrassed, and a few were actually angry. Like, how does this even happen? And that's when the blame game started. Some pointed the finger at Sam for tweeting without checking. Others blamed social media itself, saying it's getting harder and harder to tell what's real anymore. Then you had folks just laughing it off, saying, well, that's life in the Twitter era. Or maybe we should call it the X era now. But one thing was clear. Micah Parsons' contract situation is that important to this fan base. We're all on edge, waiting for the moment the deal actually drops. So when even a hint of it shows up, even from a possibly unreliable source, it gets people fired up. I've got to ask, when the truth came out and you realized it wasn't real, how did you feel? Were you mad at Sam? More frustrated at how fast fake news spreads? Or did you just shrug it off and move on? Let me know in the comments, because this situation really brought out every kind of reaction you can think of. And here's a quick question for the poll. Who do you think handled the situation the worst? Vote A, Sam Williams. B, the fans who believed it instantly. C, whoever made the fake graphic. But this whole mess wasn't just about a tweet. It sparked real conversation about how the Cowboys front office is handling Micah's contract, and that's what we're talking about next. So now that we know there's no deal yet, let's talk about what really matters. Why hasn't Micah Parsons been extended already? I mean, this guy isn't just another solid piece on defense, he's the heart of it. The kind of generational talent you lock up without hesitation, right? And yet, we're still waiting. Now, to be fair, the Cowboys have extended their stars before. Dak, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb is expected soon. But Micah, crickets so far. And that's odd. We're talking about a player who's been a Defensive Player of the Year finalist every year he's been in the league, a guy who shifts the momentum of games with just one play. So why the hesitation? Some fans think the front office is just being patient, waiting for the market to settle. Maybe they want to see what happens with guys like Nick Bosa or TJ Watt and use that as a comparison. And yeah, I get the strategy. But at what point? Does it stop being strategy and start looking like stalling? Others believe Jerry and Stephen Jones are just playing hardball. They've done it before. They've waited until the very last moment to sign guys, thinking it gives them leverage. But with Micah, that's a dangerous game. You don't want to make a star like him feel undervalued, especially when he's already hinting, publicly and indirectly, that he expects to be paid. And hey, you've seen Micah's personality. He's vocal, he's emotional. He loves this team, but he also knows what he's worth. If this drags out too long, could it turn into resentment? That's something no one wants. Not fans, not the locker room, and definitely not the front office. So, I want to hear your take. Do you think the Cowboys are playing it smart by waiting, or are they pushing their luck with Micah? Drop your opinion in the comments and vote in the poll. How confident are you that the Cowboys will extend Micah before the season starts? A, 100%. It'll get done. B, 50-50, could go either way. C, not confident. This might turn ugly. Next, let's zoom out and look at how this drama ties into the bigger picture of how the Cowboys do business with their stars. All right, now that we've talked about Micah Parsons and the wait game, let's zoom out a bit. This isn't just about one player or one contract, it's about the Dallas Cowboys' whole approach to managing their stars. If you've followed this team for a while, you know the Cowboys have a reputation. They're proud, they're bold, and yes, they can be very strategic when it comes to contracts. But sometimes, that strategy can look like hesitation or even tough love. Remember how long it took to sign Dak Prescott to that big extension? Or how Zach Martin's deal was handled? There's a pattern here, and it's important to understand it if you want to know what's going on with Micah. The Cowboys' front office often waits until the last possible minute to finalize deals. It's a negotiation tactic, no doubt, but it's a high-stakes gamble. Sometimes it works in their favor, getting a better deal or sending a message that no player is bigger than the team. Other times, it risks alienating players and fans. This approach isn't unique to Dallas, but it does define the team's culture. They want their stars to stay hungry and motivated. They want to keep their roster flexible, especially with the salary cap crunch that's hitting the NFL harder every year. But here's the catch. Players like Micah Parsons aren't just any stars. He's a potential franchise cornerstone for the next decade. That means the Cowboys need to balance their business tactics with making sure he feels valued, respected, and part of the long-term vision. So, what do you think? Is this tough negotiating style part of what keeps the Cowboys competitive? Or is it a risky move that could backfire with a player as important as Micah? Tell me your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit the poll from the last chapter if you haven't already. Coming up next, we'll dig into the salary cap and what the Cowboys might have to do financially to make this deal happen without hurting the rest of the roster. All right. Now let's wrap this all up and talk about what these workouts really mean for the Cowboys moving forward. Bringing in 5 players for workouts right after minicamp shows the front office is not sitting still. They're actively searching for ways to improve the roster from every angle. Whether it's through the USFL pipeline, undrafted talent, or veterans with NFL experience, Dallas is casting a wide net to find players who can help this team compete immediately. You've seen the mix of players they're looking at. Defensive tackles like Perry and Winfrey and Dare Levelston, cornerbacks Jerry Jacobs and Robert Rochelle, and an experienced offensive tackle in George Fant. The common thread here is depth and competition. The Cowboys want to build a roster that can withstand injuries and keep pushing all season long. And with guys like Aaron White-Cotton influencing the defensive line decisions, it's clear the coaching staff is hands-on in this process. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think any of these players could make a meaningful impact on the Cowboys roster? Or do you feel these workouts are just routine and won't amount to much? Drop your thoughts down below, and while you're at it, hit that like button if you enjoyed breaking down this Cowboys update with me. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to Cowboys News TV and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest news, rumors, and analysis straight from the heart of Dallas Cowboys fandom. We're building a community here, and I want you to be a part of it. Thanks for hanging out, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Stay Cowboy strong.